Welcome to the Candyverse. Today we're going to talk about something a lot of people try to skip. But without this, nothing really works. The fundamentals of drawing, not secret tricks. Not a magic Procreate brush, but the foundations that make any style work, from cute anime to hardcore realism. Let's go step by step, starting with the classics. Wood anatomy. This is not about memorizing every muscle with a weird Latin name. It's about understanding how the body bends and moves, without looking like broken clay. Where an arm actually bends, how the torso twists, how hips look from the front versus a three-quarter view. Anatomy isn't there to make all your characters realistic. It's there so that when you stylize or exaggerate, it feels intentional, like you know what you're bending. Perspective. The word that scares 90% of artists. Perspective isn't just drawing cubes and buildings. It's understanding how space works, where the horizon is, what's closer and what's farther away, how proportions change depending on the angle. Even if you only draw characters, perspective affects pose, camera angle, and how much depth your drawing has. Color. You don't need to memorize the entire color wheel, but you do need to understand a few basics. Contrast, light versus dark. Temperature, warm versus cool. Saturation, intense versus muted. Color isn't just about looking pretty. It's about where you want the viewer to look first, what emotion you want to trigger, and how your character separates from the background. Decomposition? This is the where you place things inside the frame. You can have an insanely well-drawn character, but if everything is badly arranged, the illustration feels off. Composition is about what takes up the most space, where the eyes are guided, how you lead the viewer through the image, what you leave simple and what you detail. Think of composition like directing a scene. You decide who enters, who gets seen, and who steals the spotlight. Up to here, these are the classic fundamentals. But there are others almost no one talks about, and they make a huge difference. Intentional practice. This is not just drawing a lot. It's drawing with a purpose. Today I practice hands. Today I test new color palettes. Today I focus on dynamic poses. Without intention, practice is just cardio. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere. Let's keep going with fundamentals you won't find neatly listed in books, but you can feel them in someone's work. Consistency. Drawing something amazing once every 2 months doesn't do much. Consistency means showing up even if it's just a sketch, not disappearing for weeks at a time, turning drawing into a habit, not a special event. Real improvement comes from many normal sessions, not just the rare moments where everything clicks. Learning to give yourself feedback. This one is pure gold. You can't always rely on someone else to tell you what's wrong or right. Self-feedback means finishing a drawing, letting it sit for a bit, coming back and asking, what worked? What feels off? What would I change next time? You can even write it down. Cleaner lines. Right leg looks weird. Background color's too loud. This isn't hating your drawing. It's letting the drawing teach you. Light line work, don't draw with a death grip. This is fundamental and almost no one tells you. A lot of artists draw like their iPad owes them money. Super dark lines from the start, tense strokes, hard pressure, which makes corrections painful, and destroys your wrist over time. Light line work means learning to start with soft lines, almost like you're whispering the shape. Except that the first pass is just a guide. Commit and darken lines later, once the structure is clear. When you draw lightly, moving things doesn't hurt. Fixing mistakes isn't scary. You stop marrying your first line and start seeing the drawing as something built in layers, not in one aggressive strike. And your body will thank you. Heavy, tense strokes for hours are a perfect recipe for wrist, forearm, and shoulder pain. Learning to relax your hand, use less pressure, and let the line flow doesn't just improve your art. It protects your tendons so you can keep drawing for years without wrecking yourself. Practicing light line work can be as simple as using a pressure-sensitive brush, easing up on your wrist pressure, making several soft gestures instead of one hard line, and a patience and long-term vision. The fundamental nobody wants to hear. Drawing is not a skill you unlock in 3 months. It's a muscle built over years. In short, anatomy, perspective, color, composition, intentional practice, consistency, self-feedback, light line work and taking care of your wrist, patience, curiosity. You don't need to master all of these today, but you do need to have them on your map. And choose which one you'll focus on over the next few weeks. If this video helped you see drawing as a system of fundamentals, instead of talent versus no talent, leave a like and share it with someone who feels stuck but has never organized their foundations. Subscribe if you want more content about building your artistic level from the ground up. Follow me. This is the Candyverse.